On this night, Kivu Ruhorahoza's film Grey Matter is set to make its world premiere at New York's Tribeca Film Festival.
I'm nervous and I'm excited.
It's one of the first feature-length films to be directed by a Rwandan who still resides in his homeland.
But really, a movie is such a passing thing, and in the madness of a festival, the only thing you can hope is that they keep it in their mind and that they go and do some more research to understand the film and to understand where it comes from.
The idea for Grey Matter originated when Ruhorahoza was just about 13 years old. He wanted to help people understand the effects of the 1994 Rwandan genocide.
I wanted to make a short film about these two siblings who've lost it all and who are struggling with trauma. And when I finished the story, it wasn't easy to understand for someone who didn't have some information about my country.
He later added 2 other stories to form the complete script.
I wrote the story about a madman who's probably patient or who's a former militiaman who's a convict now. And so both stories seemed fine to me, and they seemed rather easy to understand, but each time I tried to make them, I would fail.
Jour J-6, je viens de prendre la décision finale concernant la musique du générique.
Then I wrote a story about myself, not failing to make films, to make 2 short films that are dear to my heart. And the whole thing seemed like it could be a nice feature film.
In 2009, Ruhorahoza was finally given the chance to make his film when he teamed up with Australian producer Dominic Allen. They started filming in Rwanda that same year.
I knew all the actors before. I'd seen them on stage. I'd seen them in bars. They're friends, and I knew their personal stories. I knew what they could give me and what they wouldn't be able to give me. And I wanted the film to be as honest as possible. So I casted people who knew something about the genocide of the Tutsis in Rwanda, and I asked my actors to be as natural as possible.
Ruhorahoza's character, Evan, is perhaps his most autobiographical. Evan was not in Rwanda during the genocide and is now dealing with the fact that his family suffered without him. Ruhorahoza was also away during the genocide, with his grandmother on the other side of Rwanda, away from the violence, while the rest of his family was in Kigali.
20,000 people are dying every day, who are being killed every day. And you don't know how do you kill 20,000 people every day? How is that possible? I mean, and so I was losing hope, and at some point I got the news that my family had been killed. And so we just spent one terrible month, just crying and being lost. But it was false news. Luckily, someone had spread the news to protect them, so that they wouldn't be targeted anymore. Yeah, but still, in my mind, I had been an orphan for some days. I'd been completely alone for some days, and it changed something radically in my life. And after the genocide, when I went back to Kigali to meet my family, I didn't know how to talk to them. I just, yeah. At some point, it was like, are they ghosts? Is it this real? Am I this lucky? Because so many people of my age lost everything. And but yeah, still now, I mean, they lived something really particular in the history of the country and in their history as individuals, and I'm not part of it. So I don't know how it will ever be possible for me to understand that. So many times you write and you don't know why you're writing, and maybe a shrink would tell me that I'm trying to connect the dots, or I'm trying to move on. But I have many other stories or films. I have some screenplays that are in shape and to be pitched, to to producers or to funders, and but I just wanted to tell this one for now, and it's not for me it's not a genocide film. Like I made this flag in the film with the K, by the flag of Rwanda's R, and I don't name the conflict. And you can, I mean, for someone who doesn't know anything about Rwanda, I mean, it could be Liberia, it could be anywhere. So, but I just wanted to close that chapter, and someone would say that it's a healing process for me, but I don't know. I just felt that I really wanted to make it.
Next on African Voices, 3 perspectives, 1 Rwanda.
I don't tell jokes, I just tell stories. Like to see people in all their glories. People ask me where I get my stuff. Just walking down the street gives me more than enough. Just open your eyes and open your ears. The things you pick up can reduce you to tears. Like the lady in the shop trying to look too trendy, and the salesman on the corner trying to get too friendly. Sure, I've got a smile that lets me into all kinds of places. So I gotta hang with all sorts of faces. To the guys who are there at the height of fame, to the really funny guy, but you don't know his name. But fame or shame, between you and me, there's one thing we can all agree. Go to Glow if you want the best, because no one gives you more for less.
Rule your world. Glow.
3 films, 3 perspectives. This year at the Tribeca Film Festival, director Lee Isaac Chung's Almond Tree Films teamed up with the Tribeca Film Institute to give Rwandan filmmakers a chance to share their stories.
They asked us to write about resilience. Then we did 3 movies. So I was involved with like other friends of mine who came together here in New York. Then we made this movie for resilience supported by Tribeca.
Jean-Luc Habjeriman directed Sai, the story of a street musician who wants to make a life out of his passion.
I like music, so I worked on music. I thought there's some traditional music in Africa need to be supported. Like kids, they make music on the street. So I had that idea and that dream that I can show people how people are struggling, but they have talents, so they need to be supported and to be promoted.
He never addresses the genocide head-on, instead focusing on life afterwards.
There is a lot of films about genocide, and I think many people already knows what happened to Rwanda. It was terrible, it was very bad, but we need also to show people that there is other things should be promoted. We need to, of course, we have to talk about genocide, but we need also to show people that there is, after genocide, we have other things to do. Yeah, to show people that we have other things to share, not only genocide.
Pour mon propre film, j'ai été inspirée par l'histoire de mon pays. On a subi un génocide et puis il y a des gens qui ont perdu l'espoir et ils n'ont plus envie de parler de ce qui leur arrivait.
Liza, directed by Marie-Clémentine Dusabe-Jambo, tells the tale of 2 children. One child's parents were murdered, the others were the murderers.
On étudiait en classe, il y avait nos collègues qui sont des survivants du génocide, et aussi les autres qui ont des parents qui ont participé dans le génocide. Et puis, on expériençait les deux personnes. Je vis avec toutes ces personnes. Le petit enfant représente tous les enfants qui ont survécu le génocide et puis qui avaient des problèmes, qui ne veulent pas sortir d'eux, dans leur cœur. Au Rwanda, tous les Rwandais veulent que tous nous soyons réunis encore, se réconcilier. Et ils veulent aussi voir les enfants jouer sur une colline sans aucun arrière-pensée. Et c'est pourquoi ils essaient de pardonner. Mais c'est le pardon qui transforme les mémoires, mais pas le pardon qui efface le passé. Mon film va montrer aux gens comment les Rwandais sont parvenus à se réconcilier, à résoudre les problèmes entre eux sans avoir appelé quelqu'un pour venir. C'est ce que aussi je voulais montrer.
I liked films before, and I used to have a dream to make the films, and I used to have also a dream to be an actor. Yeah, because I used to watch the films made from the US, from Europe, and as well as Africa. So I used also to have a dream for being a part of kind of this career of filmmaking. So that's how I get actually involved, and I also get involved because some different producers in Rwanda, yeah, who are just making the films in Rwanda, and I used to say, oh my God, I need to achieve this and this, and I need to work my own project.
Filmmaker Kayambi Musafir cast his own brother in his film Shema.
My films talks about education, but also it talks about not forgetting the past, but moving forward for the better future, looking better future, but not forgetting the past, not forgetting what happened. And yeah, so for me, it was a good opportunity to tell the world that especially youth, they can work hard for the better future, but also not forgetting the past. Yeah, so basically that's what my films talks about, because I tried to show the young man who was struggling with how he lived. You know, before he had both legs, and in my films I showed him when he was just one leg, and this has happened, but it didn't discourage him to work hard for the better future. Of course, my personal experience has influenced the film, because I also worked with he's my brother, the one who acted in my film, and he was cutted his leg during genocide. So somehow it was very hard for us both, brother and me, but also we just wanted to show the whole world that things like that can happen, but you can just move forward and you can look for the better future, education, and having good times, yeah, in your rest of life, yeah. So it also has influenced me a lot, because I wanted to show the world how they can, how the people in Rwanda are working hard after genocide. People in Rwanda trying to work hard and trying to move forward for the better future, yeah, especially youth. I want them to learn, and of course there will be different comments from the audience, and first things that I want from them, and I want them to watch the film and learn from it. If it's really can give some education from different people. Yeah, so I just want them to also be able to see Rwanda, how we are working and how we are trying to move forward.
Just ahead on African Voices.
It's important for them to be able to give a visual opinion of themselves instead of consuming the images.
An emerging film industry in Rwanda.
Break it! Okay? Go! We know what to do!
We make the grooves, we've got the moves. We're P, we're square. We talk to people everywhere. The kids in the bars, the guys in the cars.
Okay? Let's go! Okay?
The girls with the pretty faces. The cool bros from all kind of places.
Something, you really don't want to keep nothing. All you do is get
the guys in the north, the guys from the south. You mostly hear it, word of mouth.
It's all about you breaking the rules. Ladies, are you feeling
Hey man, why have one when you can have two? You just need to talk to, you know who? Just like us. If you want the best, go to Grow. They give you more for less. Yeah.
What energy source has the power to change our lives? A natural resource that is boundless and universal. For more than 50 years, Sharp has been powering solar solutions with innovative research and development, creating less pollution and lowering our electricity bills, providing power where it is needed most, and even helping cities offset their carbon output. Sharp Solar. The sun is the answer. Sharp.
From the ruins of a brutal genocide that tore his homeland of Rwanda apart, came grey matter director Kivu Ruhorahoza's love of storytelling and his gift of creativity.
Right after the genocide, I mean, there were so many people had fled the country, especially Kigali, and young men would go like in houses looting and things. But my brother was walking around the streets of Kigali and saw like all these houses open and just curious. He was, I think he was 18 at that time, and he came across these books that were abandoned in some house, and he took all of them and brought them home. So we had a respectable little library in my house with amazing books. And I read Voltaire when I was 12. I didn't understand everything, but that's when I started. I keep reading it because each year that passes, I understand a little bit more of those books that I read when I was young. I read Mark Twain, my translation in French, when I was 12. I think if I hadn't had access to that high-quality storytelling, I don't know if I would have been here. When I was 16, I watched a really amazing film from Ivory Coast called In the Name of the Christ. I was just going through TV, changing channels. It was a new thing in Rwanda to get so many TV channels, and I was just playing around with the TV, and I saw accidentally this film on a French channel, and I was blown away. I was blown away. So for me, after years of reading really high-quality literature, like Gustave Flaubert, Oscar Wilde, Norman Mailer, I thought that film was a little bit more. The film was complete when I watched that film. It felt complete, and the music, the performances, the imagery. I was just blown away. And a few weeks later, I was trying to watch this erotic film. I mean, I was 16 and 17. I was obsessed by sex like any other teenager. And the poster was really evocative. There was this naked woman on the poster. I was like, yeah, I'll go and watch that film. And when a few minutes later, after the film had started, it was about the film was called La Nuit by a French filmmaker called Cédric Kahn, and It was about a professor of philosophy who gets obsessed by a very young girl. And for that obsession of his, and it was just, and the performances and the way the story was unfolding, it was an absolute knockout of a movie for me. And then that night I said that I'd become a filmmaker. I said, I absolutely have to make this. I have. This is what I should be doing because I love music so much and I love storytelling, I love writing and I love images. I love moving images. So that night I decided I would become a filmmaker because it feels much more powerful.
ishusho rimwe gusa riruta amagambo igihumbi.
Ruhorahoza's film Grey Matter is just the beginning of Rwandan cinema, an industry that is still in its infant stage, but with the potential to educate and move Rwanda forward.
We don't have a film industry. We're still trying to build up one, but I couldn't even get a tripod to handle my camera. We couldn't get a sound recorder. We had to hire one from Kampala, and we had to make our own dollies. We had a wonderful camera and an okay sound, and that was it. So that was really painful, and experience. Experience was my first feature film. I didn't feel that I was prepared enough. I have to admit it. People tend to see the genocide as from just it happening. But there's so much of it was prepared, and it had consequences on the population. But really, what's important for me, because that's the part that I understood, is the consequences of the genocide on our mind, the trauma. That's the part that I lived as an adult, or as an adult in the making. Because after '94. I just saw so much, and it was overwhelming, and I tried to understand. I'm still trying to understand. There's so many people of my age who've lost it all. So there's so many people of my age who have lost everything. Everything, like their parents, their siblings, their houses, and they don't even have a place to live. So, and who talks about them? Some NGOs try, but those are the people that I know. Those are the people that I spend time with, or that I spent time with at some point in my life. And economically, it's good. I mean, it's good for Rwanda to have a film industry and to have Rwandans own their images or produce their images, produce their own. How to say this? It's important for them to be able to give a visual opinion of themselves, instead of just consuming the images. So I think it's important just as a form of expression, just as a form of art. To be honest, I don't think films are going to change anything. I think what changes the lives of people is just vision and education. And education is a process. You watch a film and then it can have an impact on one or two people, but yeah, if you use it as a propaganda, that's totally wrong. But yeah, I think what changes, what can rebuild the country is vision and hard work and commitment and education. Yes. Yeah. That's the only way we can move from where we are to a better place in Rwanda.
Deserts are bleak. Blues musicians are old. Fish swim in water. Winters are cold. Girls are weak. Beasts feel no love. Roses are red. Learning is tough. Roadsides are boring. Green factories will never come true. Responsible people walk, and luxuries for an elitist few. Hyundai, new thinking, new possibilities.
CNN has joined the fight to put modern-day slavery out of business.
This is the front line of Romania's battle against sex trafficking.
CNN takes on the story and looks for answers.
Would you call this modern-day slavery? This bonded labor?
When you want to know the why.
What's horrifying is that many of these children were sold into the sex trade by their own parents.
And what's at stake.
Just 7 years old, he's the star witness against his alleged attackers, a criminal gang that relies on children for profit.
We cover all the angles.
Here workers enjoy rights other workers can only dream of. Freedom from mental and physical abuse that's so common in sweatshops across Asia.
The victims can't walk away, and neither will we.
We've been encouraging you to take a stand to end slavery, and the response has been incredible and imaginative.
The CNN Freedom Project.